let me officially say hello and welcome and thank you for being on the call here tonight, Jan.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm pleased to do so. Trust me.
Well, I am in great admiration of you, Jan, and of course your family for your commitment to this company and being very deliberate about getting our president to take a look at the Tower Garden. If you wouldn't mind, maybe we could start there tonight and just tell us how this Tower Garden came to the company and sort of what that little bit of that journey was like.
All right, I would be happy to. I started growing towers about 7 years ago. So 7 years ago, because I got excited about towers, just like most of us on the phone. You know, it was an aeroponic growing machine. We could grow a garden. It was clean, beyond organic growing. You know, it met all of my criteria of eating as much organic as possible. So because I've been with the company so long and been a national marketing director, I knew the company's heart, and like you just mentioned, Dwayne, about inspiring healthy living around the world. I mean, that's what we're all on a mission to, share as much as possible and impact others. So what I did is my towers, I just decided, you know what, the company might actually, this message is the same, nutritional education, might be interested in that. And so I did share towers with Jay at the time, and actually Elton, our vice president. And Elton turns out to be, he's an old-time gardener, he's an old-time farmer. And Jay may not be the farmer as busy as he is, but actually more recently, before I had talked to him, he had been involved with the Boys and Girls Club in Memphis, and they had set up this huge garden area. And that summer in Memphis, it was 100 degrees plus, and you can imagine the garden was not successful. So I set up a tower garden, and one of the events I had down here that I did personally was a Juice Plus event, and I didn't want anybody to see it. So towers, you can take towers anywhere. In my car, took a tower down, actually set it in the bushes outside their meeting place, and Jay saw it when he left. And then one thing led to another. After a series of exposures that they saw the tower gardens, they knew they were real, they understood the background of it. Tim Blank, being the innovator, the patent holder of this tower, and it was food grade, and it was all nutritionally dense produce. It was kind of a win-win, and it's our same message. Juice Plus is to bridge the gap between what we should eat and don't. But if you're going to eat the best quality possible. We deserve it, and that's what I feel I do when I grow towers. So from there, it's been 5 years we've had towers.
Well, I know myself, just knowing a little bit of your background, being a naturopath, and you know, when you've looked into the Tower Garden and how it fits so well with the Juice Plus story, I think that, you know, that powerful message of what we do every day is the same. It's about healthy eating, it's about healthy living, and I know it took a little convincing to get them to see that, but I think with your persistence, you have truly changed lives in so many more ways, as well as Juice Plus has with your, you know, previous position with the company. Let's just talk about the Tower Garden and its technology for a little bit here. You know, we know a little bit about the aeroponic component of this, and we know a little bit about vertical growing and Tim Blank, but there's some people on the phone here tonight that are really maybe reluctant to sort of jump in on the Tower Garden. Maybe put to rest some of the concerns that people have. One being, you know, is it easy? Is it really providing fresh produce? You know, how well does this thing do? How well does it operate? Where can we go with it? What can we do with it as a business? Maybe touch on a few of those things if you would.
I'd be thrilled. I'll tell you my story of when I saw the towers, and I guarantee you it's many of you aren't. When I first saw the Tower Garden, a friend of mine, which happened to be Tim's dad, said, you got to see this project that Tim's doing. And I went down and I looked at towers, and he had all kind of towers on display at about a half an hour from here at a rooftop garden. And what really excited me after hearing him talk about it was because it met all my criteria about clean eating. In other words, I've never grown hydroponically because of the materials used, styrofoam, PVC, etc. This was food-grade plastic. That's huge. Never a leaching chemicals or anything at all into my food. Minerals, the food that we grow, is obviously the most important also. So you can grow anything in Miracle-Gro and water, but I want to know that my food is as nutrient-dense and clean as possible. So the minerals we use took 3 years in the making. It's just simply the largest array of earth minerals refined to be in a liquid blend, but along with that, There's tons of other trace elements necessary to make sure that you are guaranteeing the nutrients in this food. It also allows us to grow all foods in one tower, meaning this. You don't have to change out your foods to grow celery or strawberries or tomatoes or lettuce. I can grow an entire garden, anything that grows above the ground, if it's not a bush or a tree, in one tower. That's a big deal. Now, so I decided when I saw Tim's project I'd do 2 towers. And by the time he dropped them off the next day, I decided I would do 10. But that's because I've been around a long time. I've had a natural food stores. I've always had organic co-ops. So I know a lot of people. But just like anyone on this phone, I want to make sure I know everything about it, and I'm very sure that it works well before I share it. So trust me, one person growing 10 towers is not recommended unless you have an outlet for this food, because I had 10 towers worth of so much produce, it was incredible. And I looked for the good, bad, and ugly of it, and I found no downside. Tower gardens are an aeroponic growing machine. You need to supply, like nature asks you to, sunshine. 5 to 6 hours if you want to grow flowering and fruiting like tomatoes and cukes, etc. If you're just doing greens, you can use less. Add the mineral tonic that grows strong, nutrient-dense food. You don't have to be a master gardener. You don't even have to have a green thumb. I've never gone to a growing class in my life, and I raised almost 200 towers of all kinds of vegetables, and I've been doing this for years. So the towers themselves are the machines to allow it to happen. We offer towers to people, and the beauty of what we have to offer is we have a complete support system. So later on down the road, they don't have a jungle of the tower. We can teach them harvesting and cutting herbs and trimming tomatoes, the actual gardening part. But growing a tower is easy enough whether you're 5 or 85. The machine itself grows. There's no heavy lifting. We don't use dirt. This is an aeroponic machine. We use a fiber called rock wool, so it's clean growing. You plant a seed, grow a seedling. It takes you less than 2 minutes to actually plant your tower, and you're growing a garden. As I said, the gardening part comes in later once you're growing a full line of produce to learn how to pull lettuce or trim herbs or cut back tomatoes. You're part of the system, but you're growing so much cleaner and faster. Aeroponically also, the reason I'm so thrilled about towers, it doesn't just enhance my health or the community around me, but I'm also giving back to the earth. It's the most eco-friendly way to grow. In smaller than a 3-foot round area, I'm growing a full garden. And yet I use 5 to 10% of the water, the space, and the energy that it would take to grow in the ground. I've grown organic gardens in the ground for years, but I grow weeds as well as I grow plants. So in a tower, that doesn't happen. I literally have complete control. But I also have a 12-month garden. I can't do that in Florida because nobody grows in the summer. You can't grow that up north because you only have a short window of spring to summer. But with a tower garden, we can. We can grow through the year, whether you're outside part of the year and bring it inside with light. Here, I grow outside 24/7. It allows us, it opens up the window of feeding our family, of feeding yourself, strong, nutrient-dense food on a regular basis with probably 5 to 10% of the time and work that you would actually have a ground garden growing. I have a greenhouse here that's about 4,000 square foot, and I grow anywhere from 150 to 200 towers. But that square footage, which is just a large house, like, if I laid all those things on the ground in a ground garden, I'm growing an acre of food. An acre of food. You wouldn't be coming here because I wouldn't be growing an acre of food. But I can do it aeroponically. It also grows a third quicker than in So let us say, for instance, up north on regular summer days that you have a nice array of sunshine. The famous Florida here all year long, it takes 30 days to grow a full head of lettuce. I can count on it. So the food production, whether it's for a family, whether it's for a community, or whether it's for a commercial farm, is guaranteed with aeroponic growing. So the ease of growing, I proven, and I think everybody on this phone, if you're growing a tower and you're sharing with other people, you'll prove it to yourself how easy it is to be constructive and productive with towers. Towers through thousands of schools now. And
that's what I was going to ask you to touch on just there. Exactly. I think that the Tower Garden has gone in so many different directions, and you touched on a few. And I was just going to ask you to say, would you talk a little bit about, where we've gone, not only, for our master gardeners, but where our young gardeners are getting involved today in our schools. So maybe if you could touch on that, that'd be terrific.
The school system itself, I could go on for hours and hours.
I bet, me too.
The schools, there's so many wonderful examples. We now have thousands of schools, of students in schools that are growing towers, that are experiencing gardening, most of which for the first time in their life. These kids are learning that lettuce comes from a seed and not a bag. They're learning that it actually has a scent and a flavor. They're learning to touch and feel and grow things so that they're learning what real food is, not fake food. All right, so just like our Juice Plus product, if a child is taking it long enough, you can change their nutritional palate by ingesting those fruits and vegetables. You do the same with gardening. You can take a child, let him feel, touch, and enhance and be involved in the flavor of the food, and he will eat more. It just happens that way because you're changing their nutritional palate and their body's learning what they crave. We've lost that sense there, but so the school's growing. There's so many different examples of it. And I can give you just a couple. I think I have in this area here, we've been doing it longer than most people, but at least 100 plus schools that are growing towers, most of which have 3. They have a family garden, not just 1 but 3. Many of them do have still single. But we also have a garden that is here, and it's 8 towers at our elementary school. And they've been growing there for almost 5 years. And those 8 towers were purchased by the school because they wanted to feed their salad bar 2 days a week. These are underprivileged kids, 85% free lunch and free breakfast. These children are all engaged in growing the food that they eat at lunchtime in their salad. It is such a successful program that the actual local county decided to offer all of their elementary schools 3 free towers if they wish to grow them. That's what's starting to happen in community. The more children get engaged, the more they're educated about nutrition, the more they teach their parents. Isn't that something? And it's just a bigger circle. And so many of the schools are not just using the curriculum for science or nutrition, but also to teach these kids to be young entrepreneurs. Now they're called farmpreneurs. So you're teaching a child about the science of aeroponic technology, the tower garden technology here. And they're actually maybe becoming a farmer someday, or at least they're going to educate others about the possibility. So it's almost endless. And I can give you one other example, which I think all of us, believe me, it'll tug at heartstrings. We have a group from our high school. It's called the ESC group. And these are intellectually challenged. The majority of them are autistic. And they're all from anywhere from 16 to 19. So everyone can do different jobs, but they come out twice a week, and they work on their greenhouse. So they come out 2.5 hours, and they do everything from planting seeds. That depends on their level. Some can do little seeds, some can do big ones, and some can't seed. But they can all clean the strawberries. They can all harvest lettuce. They can all take off bad leaves. They all plant. They all seed. They're every way engaged when it comes to it. They even started a gardening club now. One of these guys is deaf and dumb. The other one can't speak. The other ones are limited, but they're all into gardening. The joy that they experience here, and they work for 2 solid hours. But they started a gardening club at school. They're learning how the produce works when it comes to taking it to school. They can't sell it at school, but the teachers can certainly donate. So they're raising all these funds for their gardening machine. It's this beautiful circle to show what a simple garden can do, especially when it comes to kids. But that just leads on to more and more of the communities that are starting to do the same.
And I think, Jan, you touched on something that's really interesting because it has crossed so many different age groups, so many different, physical, mental capabilities within our children, within our adult communities. The Tower Garden brings to life an opportunity for people to engage in a place they've never been able to before. And I think that's the magical sort of moment of the Tower Garden today, that is truly not something we set out to do. And we have to be honest, we thought about growing food and having local food and fresh food, but we really didn't think about where that could go and how that could impact so many lives. And if you could, just for everyone on the phone here tonight, there's some people that have come into our company because of Juice Plus. They've been with us 20 years. They've been with us 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, whatever. And then other people have come to our company today because of the Tower Garden, because of this technology that they have at their fingertips that they can go out and market and share with families. Let's talk about our business a little bit. I think it's important that we talk about that because, it's great to have wonderful products and for us to get healthy and for ourselves, but, we can't keep that secret amongst ourselves. And just talk a little bit about marketing and what that means to people and maybe how you go about getting the word out there for people and not overwhelming them with information possibly, just saying, hey, have you ever considered, or what are some of the things that you do to sort of help spread this word, whether it's Juice Plus or the Tower Garden?
Well, it's kind of like walking and talking. With towers, I show towers. What we do is we do a lot of talks and we do a lot of different events when it comes to, I don't care if it's a home show or a garden show or the kids fair or a science fair at school. We're there. It can be a carnival. If there's people, I have a tower. And there's something about seeing it and knowing it's real. And I never sell a tower. I share my enthusiasm about growing your own food. If it's something you enjoy, believe me, you're going to love a tower. I share my enthusiasm about you haven't tasted food until you grow it from your own garden, and you probably never tasted as good as this. So I talk towers. I talk about just what it can do for you. Nutritional education, Juice Plus is no different. Conversations today are about health. Conversations are about the problems of the world. I offer solutions. We offer solutions with our Juice Plus, and I offer solutions with towers. I will tell you, I've been in this business now for not quite, about 18, 19 years almost. And, of course, I've shared Juice Plus from the very beginning, all of that time, and I still do today. But the towers have been this, breath of fresh air. And you know why? Because towers are just fun. Everybody's not going to grow a garden, but just showing and talking towers and talking about produce and it's fun. People enjoy it. So I excite people. Will they all grow a tower garden? Maybe not. But it doesn't matter. If it's not for you, maybe it's somebody else you know. But you know what? We're talking about this nutritional part, and you don't eat enough, you definitely need to look at the Juice Plus. So if I'm talking towers, I'm talking towers. If I'm talking Juice Plus, I'm talking, I keep it separated usually because I'm not overwhelming anybody. I'm trying to sell them on something. I'm just excited about what I do. So we have lots of new distributors, and I'm doing a lot in the last few years that have joined us that were all about towers only. And they love it. They share it. They're sharing their communities, not just in schools, but at co-ops and their churches, and the community gardens are starting. But at the same time, they also learn more and more about Juice Plus, and we'll end up doing both. Towers are a wonderful thing. They're a one-time buy, people will say, but I don't believe that because it's not how it works in my life. If somebody's in my life because you're growing a tower, they're excited to hear from me anytime I call. And more than likely, one tower will lead to others because there's always a neighbor or friend who wants to do the same. I can't tell you how many people we have started with a single tower, and they now own a family garden, which is the package of 3. $100 less to buy 3 instead of 3 individuals. And from there, now we're working a community garden. Our latest, community farms that you can grow 12 towers, and as a distributor you can sell 12. That's the next thing that's so exciting. Because once you have communities involved, and how do you have that? You have that by talking to one person at a time. They have neighbors. They have friends. You have a grandma that can't tell her son and daughter-in-law how to feed their grandchildren, but she can buy them a tower to kind of guarantee that they get some nutrition in them.
Absolutely.
We've seen story after story, but it's just walking and talking, Dwayne, and it's not selling.
I'll tell you, I like yourself, have been out there in the marketplace working with, schools, restaurants, and individuals, and the one thing that just continues to excite me is to share this technology, but the bigger message. The bigger message is about them getting involved and eating healthier. And, of course, I think there's nothing more powerful than saying the Tower Garden brought to you by the Juice Plus Company. and who's
Yeah.
Juice Plus and what are they doing, where we've been for the last 23 years with an amazing whole food product that has led us down this path to reach more people and in just another vehicle, another way to reach them and tell our story. And you said something else that was really interesting to me that I think anyone listening on the phone here tonight needs to remember is your passion, your excitement and your enthusiasm. You cannot sell a tower, and I don't believe that you can sell Juice Plus. You can showcase it, you can put it out there, you can tell people the benefits, but what we really need to bring to the table, I think, is our passion and our excitement for what we do. And I know a lot of people that checked in tonight like you do, and they are a passionate group. They love helping people and growing people and supporting them. And, this is what our organization is all about, and I just can't be, more proud of the people that I get to run with every day, like yourself, like so many others that are on this call tonight. So it's really hats off to everyone being here tonight and what we do. And with that, we have this powerful opportunity to go out and tell the world. And I'd like to just close, if we could, for some of the people on the phone know that recently there has been a merger with the Tim Blank's Future Growing Company and, of course, the Tower Garden Company. And you already touched on the community garden, where we're showcasing a 12-tower opportunity for people that really want to take it to another level. There's also a very big interest in commercial gardening and stuff. And I know yourself, and of course, your family is involved with that, myself as well up here in the Northeast, and we have some others on the phone here that are representing the commercial part of our business. Maybe just touch on briefly, if you would, what that could mean for people, what that could showcase for them in their own backyard.
Okay, and I'm going to back up just one to the community
Please.
garden, because I don't even think we all have an idea as to what we have our hands on, even with single towers. But now, since last year, we have a community garden available. And so every distributor that's walking and talking and sharing Juice Plus and towers needs to know that. And that's simply a small community garden that of 12 towers that any distributor can sell. And you can put it on payment. It runs $500 a month for a payment. You could start a CSA. You can have a group of families get together, 25 of them, grow just this community garden. 12 towers. I can feed 25 families, 2 heads of lettuce, kale, and Swiss chard, or break it up and have 1 head of lettuce and 6 different vegetables once this garden's been growing for 2 months. In other words, you literally, between restaurants, food banks, hospitals, schools, the community garden is something every distributor can share. So if you're not familiar with what's available in the community garden, then you need to just go on your virtual office and right under the forms and resources under Tower Gardens, it has information about it. And next, Raymond, you mentioned about the commercial farms. For years, commercial farms are available through Future Growing that Dwayne just mentioned. But now, Juice Plus Company is all combined. So, the whole division is just for Tower Garden Farm. Showcasing what I do here, I'm fortunate enough that I've had this farm for like 7, almost 8 years now. So people know that I'm here. They come and see a bigger picture. A bigger picture meaning that I'm not just growing 1 tower. I've got at least 12 or 20 residential towers that they can picture how their garden might look like. That makes a huge difference in how you share towers. Everybody should have one in their area. How are we going to have small showcases or big ones in your area unless we, as excited, passionate people, share with our community, because you have no idea in your community. It might be at a restaurant or a food bank. It might also be just a young man who wants to start his farm or has an existing farm and wants to do an aeroponic one as well. So you as a distributor can share with people that we now have Tower Garden Farms available. This isn't something that you have to learn all the intricate details of how you set up a Tower Garden farm of 100 towers or 1,000, but you have a whole support system behind you. So you can contact Tower Garden Division, Tower Garden Farm Division of the Juice Plus Company. There's even a form for a lead submission that's on your virtual office, because there is a percentage, a commission that you can make if somebody's interested in doing a farm and it's your referral. And it even gets paid through three of your uplines, a smaller percentage paid. But this is the exciting part. You now have a showcase in your area, your community. Whether it's 10 minutes away or an hour from you, it doesn't matter. that you have something that you can take somebody to and get the bigger picture. When you do that, you'll grow your community and you'll grow your business. It will just happen. You'll also have a distributor, because most people that do farms will do this as a distributor. That's even more exciting. Now you have a local supplier, so all of your new tower garden customers have a place to buy their seedlings.
Exactly.
Or maybe have a place to have classes. All right, this is what will really get the ball rolling, and you'll enhance your entire community, and believe me, you'll all grow it together. So the fact that we have community gardens available, the fact that we have commercial farms available now, that we can all get together and promote throughout this country and, of course, across the world at some point. Let's start at home and just grow up this country first, even vertically. And we can all do that together. So you don't have to be an expert. Use the tools, use the resources available in our office, on our website, in the office, the actual physical office at corporate. We're all here to answer your questions.
Jen, you said it so well, and it's fascinating to me to why I got involved with this product, why I love it myself, why I'm building a greenhouse, here at my property, and why this whole concept of providing healthy food in our schools and our restaurants. And I work with Shelley Simpson. We've been up in New York. We put a greenhouse on a rooftop. We have towers growing for a homeless shelter that's basically providing food to the community. So lots of really fun projects going on out there, showcasing what we do. The Juice Plus Company, Jay Martin, and the whole team in Memphis and Collierville is committed to this product long term. Right here in the backyard, there's so much opportunity with, of course, Tower Gardens, with, of course, the Juice Plus product line. And many of you will be in Anaheim, and you're going to see some really exciting things roll out. So we could talk all night, and I just want to close up here by just thanking you, Jan, again for being with us tonight on the phone, and obviously lighting the torch to bring this to the company. And, of course, where we're going to go in the future is just endless, I believe, with what we have here today. So I want to thank everyone. I'm going to open the lines back up. And, Jan, thank you.